Hello soul searchers, and welcome back to my channel where we use tarot to gain better insight into ourselves and the world around us. So as you can see, today we are doing something. I haven't decided what I'm actually going to call this yet, but basically I am going to pull an oracle card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle. I've been guided to work with, I don't know, a lot of Fairchild has been popping up a lot on my FYP just randomly, like in random searches that I'm doing. And then I actually wasn't even trying to pull this deck. I was looking for another one, but it came out. I haven't worked with it in a while. So we're just going to get an oracle card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle. I'm going to read the message, maybe get some of my own intuitive insights, and then I will be getting 3 cards to represent 3 different piles and doing readings with those cards included. So feel free to go to the timestamp after we've pulled those 3 cards. I'll let you know which one is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And you can choose those timestamps in the description box. But let's just go ahead and see what the Sacred Rebels Oracle has to say to us here. I'm seeing 111 on the camera, as well as 444. And then the fact that there are these 3, this is like Maiden, Mother, Crone energy here. There definitely could be something ancestral going on, even with the color. Like, I don't know if I was paying attention to this when I put this, I don't know if I was paying attention to this when I put this deck in this bag, but this is related to like the root chakra and ancestry. So immediately I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm just feeling something. It feels a little ancestrally related for sure. Spiritual team that's for the highest good of this collective here, as well as myself. Alrighty. Nope, that's 2. What message do we need to hear at this time? Or what do you want to discuss at this time? Okay. Softly, softly, the tender touch. Card 20. This air coming out of her mouth is really catching my attention, especially after especially after I just took a very deep breath. We may need to get into breath work. It's interesting that she's crying as well, like there are tears on her face. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me hold it up really quick. I'm kind of getting the sense of someone who like struggles to speak their truth, and then when they do, they either fear that basically the fear here is that it'll be misinterpreted. Somebody may take it more harshly than you mean it, or they'll completely misunderstand. Like there's a lot of fear around expression, potentially because someone has been projected onto or perceived as being the villain more often than not. And so, yeah, there's just something about that energy coming up. I'm going to go ahead and read this from the book. Card 20. 20 could be significant. And tarot that relates to judgment. And I'm not going to lie to you, this message is long. So I will try to put the timestamp on the screen for when you can see the cards come out. But I do just feel like this needs to be read. Okay, the feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to attain greater things, but don't necessarily have a proportionally greater supply of energy at our disposal, it is time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of feminine wisdom. However, a cultural ignorance of the feminine way currently prevails. We are generally taught that the more force we use, the more we try to make things happen, the more we will achieve. The feminine way is not about force, nor is it about driving, striving, pushing, or grabbing at what we can in order to create. It is about inviting what we wish for to come into the space we have provided for it, internally and in our lives. This method cultivates more energy, causes less stress, and attracts what is desired. It is manifestation by invitation rather than by will or force. There is an old story that the sun and the wind were debating about who was more powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with the coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped his coat around himself more tightly to protect himself against the force of the wind. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He shone down, becoming brighter and brighter until the man slipped off his coat, slung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, quite possibly wondering what was happening with the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do by being. You are being asked to surrender your forcefulness, your determination, and your intense activity, even if it is just for this moment. Does this mean that you have to surrender the goals you are chasing through those endeavors? Certainly not. This is not about letting go of achievement. It is about understanding the process of manifestation in a more intelligent way. There is a way of creating that gives you energy and doesn't leave you utterly worn out. It is about allowing what you want to come to you. Be yourself absolutely, naturally, and with ease. Shine your light and allow your presence to invite that which you wish to receive. It is about cultivating an energetic affinity with what you seek, rather than feelings of lack and need. Do you see the subtle but important difference? To feel that you are already a naturally abundant being who gratefully invites more of what you want into your life is rather different to feeling lack, fear, and wishing your world would change. It is a bit like dressing for the job you want, even if it is not yet the job you have. You energetically embody what you wish to attract more of into your life. Like attracts like. This oracle brings you a message. You don't need to push quite so hard to receive what is naturally coming to you. Your push comes from a place of uncertainty over whether or not you will succeed. You need to relax and have more faith in yourself. All things come in time, rightfully and according to a great loving wisdom. You are not immune to this. You shall have your time and shine too. Rebel against any voice of fear within you or around you that tells you otherwise. It is okay to become softer, to feel the energy of what you wish to attract into your life, and to act, as much as you can, as though it is already that way. You are not fantasizing or daydreaming or failing to live in the real world if you do this. You are actually working with the feminine art of manifestation through gentle beingness and attraction. As you soften into becoming what you are seeking, what you wish for will not be able to resist your shining, inviting presence. This oracle also comes with the special message that you have been working very, very hard. You have learned much and accomplished much, but it is now time to change your approach. Let go of any forcing your approach to creation now. Everything serves a purpose, and learning the benefits and limitations of the more forceful way of manifestation through effort and willpower was a useful lesson. However, if you were to continue with that approach, it would stop working for you, because you are now beginning to create on a far grander scale that is beyond what an individual can manifest through willpower alone. You are individually you are individually creating through your healing and art, but also contributing globally to new consciousness through your own spiritual growth. You are part of a global healing manifestation process. You are, through your way of being in the world, helping to birth a new awareness. This new way will heal the human heart and bring it back into balance with nature. This is essential for the human soul to survive, flourish, and to cooperatively nurture the earth rather than destroy her natural resources. You may or may not be consciously aware of the extent to which this new way of manifesting through receiving rather than taking can actually help all of humanity, but nonetheless, it is playing an important role in greater human evolution. It is the power of attraction, of magnetism, rather than that of striving and force that will replenish your energy and restore your body, mind, and heart after your struggle. This change in approach will encourage the shift from head to heart that is essential for your individual well-being and for the greater human evolution. You need to heal so that you can help the world to heal. Does this give you absolute permission now, in your mind, to take an easier approach to your sacred, rebellious, creative manifestation? Healing process. Say aloud, I shine like the sun, radiant with grace, and all that I desire comes to me according to perfect timing. I relax, believe, and receive. Through unconditional love, this is now so. I'm going to hold this up to the screen in case you want to take a screenshot of that healing process so that you can say it when you have time. I love that she did mention something about fear. I'm getting messages. I am going to shuffle cards here in a second, but I am getting messages about how if you have to try, then it's not exactly authentic to you, or it's not 100% authentic to you. This isn't saying to like not put in effort in anything, but I think this is maybe like one of those guideposts that lets you know whether you're attracting and manifesting from being, or whether you're attracting and manifesting from force. And the guidebook even said, like, learning to attract and manifest via force is a good lesson. It's okay to do that, but eventually it will run out. And if you're on this message, if you're on this reading, it's because you're being asked to do something, or you're being guided to do something that is too big for any one person. This has come up for me before, but the word consortium, y'all are tapping into some deep spiritual stuff, especially with these, like I said, those ancestors, man. Y'all are tapping into some deep knowledge at this time, or at least that's trying to be awakened within you. Awaken? Y'all know. It's trying to be woke up within you. That's all I'm getting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling. We are using the Sacred Web Tarot deck and guidebook. When I told you I was not trying to pull this deck, I certainly wasn't thinking about how sacred was in both decks, but that may be significant. It is significant for sure. Sacred is a very specific word. It's not rare, but it is specific. And as I'm thinking about specific, something about you guys, something about all of us here, and or something about our purpose, likely both. Something about us here as well as our purpose is very specific. So before I start shuffling cards, this last thing wants to come through because this is kind of for everybody. You may often feel blocked in different parts of your life, or in like what you're trying to work toward, and that's coming up for a few reasons, but I will link this video that just got posted today. I will link it up here, and it's basically all about how my current blockages, I was basically told that they're not blockages, they're guideposts. They're redirecting and telling me where to go and what to do by way of block. It's really weird, but it's a sort of confirmation when you try something and then you realize, that doesn't really feel good, and then you know that that's not for you. I'm getting Abraham Hicks. When you know what you don't want, it makes it more clear what you do want. Kind of in that sense, when you know what you can't have or what isn't worth it to have in this moment, then you know better what you can actually manifest in this moment, what this time is actually supposed to be used for. A lot about negative space is also coming through, which is interesting because I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Sacred Web is a very black and white tarot deck. So maybe as I'm pulling these cards, look at the negative space to see if that helps you choose a pile. Maybe in your everyday life, maybe there's just something about needing to look at the negative space and whatever that means to you. Coming back to specific, I'm seeing very specific paths that are tailored to you, and that you're basically I don't want to say pathfinders. You're not finding paths that are already here. You're paving paths. You're carving a path of your own. And of course, when you're doing that, you're carving it as you're going through it. So you're not necessarily going to get it until you get it. You're not necessarily, some of you may have a sense that you're being guided, even if you are kind of walking blind right now. I'm getting the Justice card in my brain. As I looked at Alana's name over here, I saw aligning, like things are aligning. And even with that, I'm looking at Maiden, Mother, Crone. So something about lining up your ancestry, specifically that maternal line, but even maybe if you don't want to look at that, just thinking about the feminine energy that you, as well as your parents, as well as your grandparents, like looking at all of the feminine energy that you yourself, as well as your family, embodies, and seeing maybe where your understanding of feminine energy has come from. I just pulled, sorry, I'm getting a lot of random messages, but they all feel relevant. So I guess this is how you know if this is your reading or if you need to be here, if any of this is resonating. I just pulled a strand of hair out of my sweatpants, and I felt the hair like tickling along my leg. So there could be, if you like are getting goosebumps right now. There's also something about like cord pulling, specifically, not cord cutting. But cord pulling, like pulling out negative attachments, maybe. You may be into that, or maybe considering that. We're already almost 20 minutes in. Let's start shuffling. Alrighty, can I get one card for the 3 piles? What is the message for pile 1? Okay. The message for pile 2. These are very clear. Message for pile 3. What is the message for pile 3? Okay, pile 3. You keep coming in 2s. It's interesting. Alright. Okay. And then at the bottom is strength. So I'm just going to keep this off to the side because this is kind of like the underlying energy for everybody. Feel free to watch all piles, or feel free to just watch the one that you choose. Pile 1, you are... I love that I wanted to use this deck because I don't know. This is not a beginner's deck, okay? So hold on. You're the 8 of something. You're the 8 of something, friend. Yes, 8 of earth. Okay, so that would be 8 of pentacles. That is you. I don't know what this animal is, but in case y'all are smarter than me, I will hold it up so that you can see it. We don't get here. Come this way. Pile 2. You are either 7 of cups or 7 of wands. Don't judge me. That is water. So you are 7 of cups, also known as 7 of water in this deck. Pile 3. Ooh. Okay, pile 3. You are the sun. And as I say that, I get the song, Here Comes the Sun. Here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun. It's alright. Now I gotta look it up. Is it the Beatles? Is that really the Beatles? The way I don't know the Beatles music. Yeah. You may like that song, but anyway, Here Comes the Sun. So feel free to choose your pile. And let's go ahead and get into these specific messages. Your timestamp will be in the description box. So feel free to forward through to your specific reading, or if you want to watch all of them, just hold here for a moment. I will go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds to choose between the different pile options, and we will get into your reading after that. See you guys soon. So pile 1, hello, welcome to your reading. As I say hello, I just got Cardi B, hello. Hello, it's me, hello, it's me, period. I don't know if that's y'all's energy or if that's me, I don't know, but there's something about arrival with you guys that's really big, arrival. And I don't know why I'm getting... Somebody heard that as a rival, like an enemy. No, I'm saying arrival, like you're arriving somewhere. Potentially after a long time trying. Like, Pentacles is the slowest moving suit out of tarot. But there's something where you finally come. You finally arrived. Welcome home is also coming through. Who is that? Welcome home. I think it's by Radical Sun. I feel like you've been working for a while to get to this point where you can communicate in your power. I'm seeing 2323 on the camera. In your power, communicate in your power. What does that mean? No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. No, it's not. It gets people going. Yeah, some of you guys might be quirky. Quirky in the sense of like, look, and I'm not judging you because you see how your reading is going, right? Quirky in the sense of like, just different. Like your mind just makes different associations. And people might often just be like, I don't know what she, he, they are talking about, but I'm going to just say okay and keep it pushing. Like, I don't know. It's just this energy where like a lot of people don't really get how your mind works. And so I feel like you stopped talking a long time ago, at least about the deep stuff. I'm getting the Hunger Games, the Hunger Games where she, or maybe it's the second one, is Catching Fire, when she and Peeta are kind of like on, they're in a weird energy after the first Hunger Games, and he's like, friends talk about the deep stuff. She's like, the deep stuff? Yeah, it's like y'all stopped talking about the deep stuff a while ago. I'm getting journaling, so y'all might journal a lot because you feel like people won't understand what you say, or it's just not even worth trying to talk to people because people have their own shit going on. I'm gonna just leave it there. But it's just like, yeah, something about you found the journal, the blank canvas. You've just found the blank slate to be a lot more better. You have found the blank slate to be a lot better at listening than everyday people or even people close to you. You're finally coming to the point where you speak. It's just like a build-up that's happening over here. And it's funny, too, because this goat is, like, walking around what appears to be some sort of mound or maybe even a mountain in the background. But it's interesting because goats usually are, like, you know, they go up a mountain. Not always. Sometimes they just sit where they want to on the mountain, but very often they do go up the mountain. And there's something about how maybe you guys have been working to go around the mountain. Mountains represent really hard things like challenges, obstacles, and instead of going up it, you've just been trying to go around the issue, around the thing you need to say. And I think you're finally realizing that you can't do that. You can't go around it. You're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to go up it. The more you go around it, the more that the energy just persists. There's also something about, like, obviously you have free will, right? So you could choose to not communicate whatever this is. You absolutely do have that choice. But there's something about how that has the potential to come out whether you want it to or not. There's something very heavy sitting with you guys. And you're going to have to take this as it resonates because, like I said, this could be, like, ideas that you have that you just need to channel out. For some of you, I do feel like more specifically it's more personal, like with some of your family relationships or a romantic partner that you're with currently. It's like something that you need to get off of your chest. And it feels like it's just kind of sitting there festering. So this softly, the tender touch is almost like advice for you to just speak it, as because the force for you guys, it feels like the force that you have right now is in suppression. You're suppressing a lot. And so there's something about just speaking it, because if you don't speak it, there's a good chance that you could end up getting triggered. And when you say things from a place of being triggered, you're usually not saying it in the best way, in the most productive way for the other person to hear it. Usually you're saying things you don't even really mean, because things have just been suppressed for so long that they just, it's once they find an outlet, it's like it's just coming. It's just gonna come out. Not necessarily in the best way, but it's gonna come out. So this is almost coming through to you as advice to just speak it. Jhene Aiko has a song, I want to say it's called Speak. I will put it on the screen as well. But that's what just came through my head. Speak. Like, yeah, speak it. Speak it when you're in a place of being able to control it, because if you continue suppressing it, it's gonna come out, and it's gonna be like word vomit. Mean Girls coming up. It's literally gonna be like word vomit. It's not gonna come out in the kindest way possible. And I do feel like that matters to you, because whoever you need to speak to is somebody you care about. That's why I'm getting like family relationships or friendships, close friendships, romantic partners. You got to get something off of your chest, pile one. But alrighty, that is all I'm seeing for you guys. Please stop harboring this. Because another thing I'm getting to is that it might be causing you stress. And stress is the #1 cause of disease. Dis-ease is what that is. Stress is just another word for it. And I'm not saying that you guys are going to get sick or you're going to get a disease. I'm not saying anything like that. But people do get sick from just having so much on their plate. Having so many unspoken words, unfulfilled dreams. Like, people do. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but just keep that in mind, that it'll also be better for you on the other side of this energy when you just speak it out. I know I focused a lot on speaking, and I do feel like that may be the case for a lot of you. Ooh. How do I say this? There's an energy tied to you. Don't get scared, okay? I don't mean tied to you. Like, it could be an ancestor. We'll just say it's an ancestor. But it's like the way that you're not speaking right now is similar to the way that they either didn't speak or couldn't speak while they were alive. And they're not tied to your blood so that you can continue making the same mistakes that they did. They're tied to you genetically so that you can show them another way of being, especially now that it's safe to. Relatively, this is one of, I know things are kind of scary right now around the world, but overall, this is one of the best times in history to be queer, black, female, witch. This is one of the best times in history to be all of those things. And I'm seeing 3131 on the camera. Not necessarily the best, but one of the best times, especially in recorded history, to be any mixture of all of those things. So don't let the fear of persecution, this is very specific, but also I feel like it fits for a lot of you. Don't let the fear of persecution keep you stuck, keep you down, because you don't have to fear that as much as some of your ancestors had to. Sometimes you just need to see things for what they are, and a lot of your fear isn't even coming from you. It's not even coming from your fear of the people around you and how they're going to react. You're just like irrationally afraid of persecution or judgment. And yeah, some people may disagree, but what I feel for you is that people will really appreciate you getting shit off of your chest, because I think they can feel this on an energetic level even if you're not saying it. I could send you guys this energy forever. Y'all have a very comforting, nurturing energy, but yeah. Pile 1, I am going to go ahead and bow out. I hope this message helped and resonated in some sort of way. Okay, I lied. One more thing, strength card at the bottom. That is the strength you need to tap into. It's just the strength to speak your emotions and to channel your ideas, to get all of that off of your chest. Tap into that strength. And I'm also getting muscle memory, so like the more that you do something, the easier it becomes. So don't just tap into it one time. You may realize you need to talk to a few people about a few different things. Do it. And then I'm getting Do It by Cherish. Do it, do it, do it, do it. You know the world be rocking to it, to it. So do it, do it, do it, do it. Ayy. Alright, and then I also just saw 3333 as well as 3345, 3345 on the camera. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope this helped and resonated in some sort of way. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, Pile 1. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. You guys chose the 7 of Cups over here. Spoiled for choice, you are. I'm really being guided to look at what's in the middle. It's always kind of hard to pick up you guys' card too. I don't know if that's significant, but I did just want to say it. And I'm also seeing 23 again. As I say that, the movie 17 again is coming up. There are 2 different versions of that movie. There's one from like early 2000s, late 90s with Tia and Tamira. And then there's the more current, more recent one with Zac Efron. So if you haven't watched one of those, maybe go watch the one you haven't watched before. Or if you've never seen either, maybe go watch both. I don't know. So what do we have here? We have, I believe these are koi fish, the fish that circle each other. And then 2 different flowers here. I just got the name Edith. And after I got Edith, I got Pilaf. I know Edith Pilaf is like she was like a old school actress, singer. Hold on, now we gotta Google. I don't want to lie to y'all. Y'all know I am quick to go to Google. Edith Piaf, sorry. Yeah, born 1915 and died 1963. French singer and lyricist. So the first question on Google that's like recommended regarding Edith Piaf is, why was Edith Piaf controversial? And this is from Columbia.edu. I'm just reading a snippet. There is a whole article though. It's called Book Review, No Regrets, The Life of Edith Piaf from Columbia Magazine. And it says, though she never cared much for politics, Piaf helped to hide Jewish colleagues during the occupation, sometimes defiantly singing their banned songs, and used her notoriety to aid French prisoners, secretly distributing false identity cards and maps during an 11-stalag tour of Germany. Wow. As I read that, I'm also being guided to Josephine Baker, who was also a spy. She was also an entertainer, like y'all know the banana skirt Josephine, okay? But Josephine was also a spy. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. So there's something about art coming through, and I've talked about this before. I'm seeing 313 on the camera. 7 of Cups has often come up to me as being pools of reality. And so I feel like that's the perspective that's going to help me make this make sense. Different pools of reality. There are... Oftentimes when we're kids, people ask us what we want to be. And immediately it's astronaut, singer, doctor, lawyer. Like, you know, it's these different things. Police officer. And even though the Seven of Cups does talk about choice, sorry, in this deck it's called Seven of Water, so I'm going to stick with that. Even though Seven of Water usually talks about choice and like picking one, there's something definitely coming through here about how you can pick more than one. Maybe not all 7, but you can be a performer and an artist and a spy. 414 on the camera. You can be, in some reality, probably this one, I don't know, maybe, you can be a police officer and an astronaut and an artist. Why not? There's something about you guys needing to not limit yourself. I'm really being drawn to this geometric pattern around her head. And I'm getting Free Your Mind by In Vogue. Absolutely, free your mind. You're not limited to being just one thing. As I was saying that, I saw 445 on the camera instead of 444. And I do still feel like that's significant, even though it's not your traditional, your traditional angel number. It's something about maybe taking a moment to pause and figure out how you can combine all of this and then moving forward. Yeah, something about you guys feels like you have to, I'm getting constrained. It's like you feel like you have to be constrained or contained to one thing. Niches are coming up, categories, demographics. Somewhere you have kind of adopted an identity that, I mean, it may be you, but it's not all of you. And it's like you're showing this one face while you still have like 3 other masks in your tool belt or something in your toolkit. I don't know why it's coming through that way, but it's like you also have other interests. You also have other abilities, other skills. There's something about you guys needing to expand your horizons, free your mind, free yourself, really. But before you can even free yourself, you have to free your mind to be open to other possibilities. There's a card peeking through at the bottom for you guys, so I'm just going to look at this. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, what the hell is that? Is that a squirrel? The way I don't know animals, bro. Maybe it's a bear. It might be a bear. Anyway, Ace of Pentacles and then Student of Water. As I'm thinking about pentacles and the bear and water, bears go fishing. So I'm kind of getting that for you guys, like go fishing. You can take that literally or figuratively, but there is somewhere where I feel like, for my witches here, I feel like fishing is one of those practical ways to tap into the magic of this Seven of Cups. Fishing is like a daily, not necessarily daily practice, but it's one of those things, one of those mundane things that you can do, and somehow it helps you to do that on an energetic level as well. It helps you tap into those different pools of reality, maybe eating more fish as well if you're not vegetarian, or if you're not allergic, of course. For some reason, I'm wanting to grind. For some reason, I'm wanting to ground this down for you guys. So there's like, I'm getting practical magic as well. You may want to watch that movie. The second one just came out. I need to see if it's still in theaters because my mama finna be here. Wait, it did not come out yet. It comes out in October, right? I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyway, some of y'all might want to look at Practical Magic, the movie, but also just like how you can incorporate more magic into your life. There's a lot about your mind coming through, oddly enough, and how, like, yes, you have these different pools of reality that you can choose into and tap into. Like, you don't have to be just one thing, but there's something about getting control of your mind before you even go there that's kind of coming through heavily with you guys. You may also want to do third eye work because the third eye is being highlighted with you all as well. For some reason, I'm getting tongue-tied as I'm in your energy, so you may be experiencing that a lot right now. And if so, it's because there are these messages trying to come through that it's like they're coming faster than you can. Either they're coming faster than you can handle them, or you don't even realize that they're coming through. I'm getting like there might be some sort of block You might be new to spirituality or maybe even scared of spirituality. And so the messages are trying to come through, but they're getting like stifled by your own thought patterns or something. So yeah, there's something about the third eye definitely being highlighted with you guys. And I think this is why practical magic and like grounding energy down is coming through in such a deep way for you guys, or it's coming through pretty prominently, because before you even get to the third eye, you do want to tap into those other chakras. You want to be grounded. Sorry, I'm starting to cook. I'm trying to get through this. You want to be grounded in your root chakra before you move up the chakra scale and get to the third eye. So there's something about grounding your energy, and I think that's why these practical things that kind of require you to be at least somewhat present are coming through, like fishing. You know, you have to be present enough to hold on to the pole and to reel that baby in when it starts tugging, you know. You have to be somewhat present, but then you can also kind of let your mind wander, and it's usually in a more peaceful environment, so that could also be significant, just needing to find like a peaceful, quiet place for yourself to do this sort of work, or a peaceful time too. Sometimes it's not even the place that's wrong, just the time. So maybe waking up before the rest of your household so that you can do some of this work. I just got the possibilities are endless. Yeah, for you and what you can create and what you can do and the magic that you can have on a daily basis, the possibilities are endless. So free your mind, open your mind to it. If you want to, and I do feel like if you're here, you want to. I'm seeing 1111 on the camera. So this is all about how our thoughts create our reality. And about being careful about what you think about. I don't like saying this because I know it comes off a certain way since I'm a tarot channel. But I'm going to say it because I am getting it for you guys. There may be some religious trauma, for lack of a better word, or some religious programming that's really running on loop. I don't feel like you guys are into that. Like, I don't feel like that's your choice, is to be religious. I don't feel like, or even if you do, I feel like you're kind of separate from the church. Because there are people coming into my brain who I personally know who they identify as Christian, but they don't go to church anymore because they feel like it's not, you know, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing for them. So you guys may practice your religion on your own instead of in a community. Something about how you practice your religion is a little unconventional. And that's fine. But there's something, a lot of you guys, I feel like you don't even believe in the religion you were brought up in, but there's just a lot of programming that you struggle to get away from. There's a lot of fear-mongering, both in religion, but also in Hollywood. And so I feel like there's a lot of these things that you've seen or that you've heard that kind of keep you from tapping into your spirituality as much as you could. I'm being drawn to this softly. Like, you don't have to go balls to the wall into like tarot and Ouija. If you just want to start with meditation, and maybe you stop there too. Maybe you start and stop at meditation, and that is good for you. That's fine. But there is something about just slowly trying different practices that call to you, and knowing that you're protected. 1333 on the camera. Ooh, especially with that number. Because 333 for me ties to the spirit realm, usually ancestors, but really any part of my spiritual team is kind of represented by that number. And so, yeah, you guys are highly protected. Highly protected. You're so good. But again, go slow. And just test things out. If this isn't specifically about a spiritual journey, because I know I just spent a lot of time there, this could also just be about maybe like different careers. Like because we started off this discussion talking about how when you're a kid and they ask you what you want to be, So this could be you right now, trying to figure out how to mix and match all of your different interests into a career, instead of having to choose between fitness and art and, I don't know, spirituality. Just trying to figure out some sort of way to integrate all three of those into one thing. And that is why that message, when I was doing like the general reading for everybody, that message about having a very specific path, yeah. Career-wise, spirituality-wise, you guys are the pile that has a very specific path. I mean, I feel like everybody in that general part does, but it's like exacerbated for y'all. There is something, maybe some new healing modality that you're going to come into contact with, some sort of career or company that you're going to create. It is very specific, but you'll never get there if you don't even dip your toe in. You'll never get into the deep end of the pool if you never learn to swim. That's not necessarily true, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, pile 2, this is your message. I hope it helped. I hope it resonated, or at the very least entertained you. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, pile 2. Hello, my lovely pile 3s, my sons. Welcome to your reading. So with the strength card being at the bottom and then you guys being represented by the sun, you definitely might have some high Leo placements in your chart. Sun, moon, rising, Venus. Yeah, look at those areas, see if Leo exists there anywhere. There was a very specific message before I even hit record about how it's like everything goes dark and then you shine. Something about you guys just brings light to darkness. And I feel like you do this with your speech, especially considering that these are birds here. There's birds on the card. I don't even know if y'all can really see this super close. Let me hold it up really quick. So you have birds on the card, but then where your card is placed, it's like beneath the mouth here. And so yeah, there's something about how y'all shed light on darkness with your speech. This could be something as simple as kind of like what I'm doing. Reading tarot cards and getting these other messages just from these images. Getting messages that only exist in the etheric realm and bringing them out so that y'all can hear them. It could be that. It could be something a little deeper where I feel like you guys are maybe like my accidental whistleblowers or maybe my purposeful whistleblowers. Not necessarily in like the sense of these big corporations, although maybe, but you may accidentally tell on people, specifically if they're trying to lie. I don't know why. I just feel like people may know that you're like the type to kind of talk and forget that something is supposed to be a secret. But even if they don't tell you, you may have like seen something that they were doing or something and you just cast a light on it. People don't need to be trying to like lie or be deceitful around you. Certainly not with you, but even around you. If they're trying to be deceitful to somebody else, they don't need to be around you doing that. And they certainly don't need to put you and that somebody else into contact, because you're just, it's not even like you're doing it intentionally. There's something about how you guys may be really blocked off from certain types of information. Like, it's like you're blocked off from even knowing that something is supposed to be a secret or something is a lie, but you still end up exposing that lie or that secret. 303 on the camera. I've gotten this before, but as a kid, you may have had that Page of Swords energy where you speak before you think. And so if people were coming in trying to hide stuff or they looked a little funny in the face, you were not one to hold your tongue. You were going to ask, like, what's wrong with you? You all right? Why are you looking like that? Fix your face. Like, that's you. Seeing 333 on the camera. This has probably been a cause of grief for you. I'm getting 3 of Swords for sure. You guys, I'm being guided to the tears. You guys were guided to hold your tongue a long time ago because it was getting you in a lot of trouble. Whether that be with family or at school, you were taught to hold your tongue. And I've said this before in another reading. I can't remember which one. But basically, you know, you may not... Interesting. It may not be the best idea to go around spilling everybody's tea or to go around checking everybody when they look a little crazy. That's probably not the best idea, but you've learned that lesson. You've matured. You've grown up. And so now it's okay to speak. You know when to speak and when to maybe hold your tongue, when it's not going to be super conducive. You know that now. So I just saw 444 as it was turning to 445, so you may have felt called to another pile. But yeah, you definitely, you know at this point. And so you can release. You can release that a little bit. You don't have to be the quiet one anymore. You don't have to hold your tongue, bite back your words. It's okay to speak it. At this point, you guys holding your tongue, there's something about, too, you guys are even holding your tongue in places where you don't need to. In places that are really hurting you to do so. Like, this could be something like you're not communicating boundaries clearly. Or you're saying you like something that you actually don't like just to please the other person. It's like, I think you felt so much shame in your youth around how boisterous and outspoken you were. Somebody, either you just immediately felt that amount of shame or somebody kind of programmed some shame into you. And so now you feel like it's your duty to make everybody around you happy at your own detriment. No. No. I'm seeing 555 on the camera. It's like instead of just speaking it out loud, you have taken everything and internalized it and basically become a people pleaser. But you're not pleasing the most important person to you, pile 3, which is you. Sorry, y'all seeing my nails? I feel like y'all need a laugh. Here, look at my nails. That's why I'm doing all this pointing, so you can look at my nails. No, real talk. As I am doing all of that, I'm seeing the Seer of Fire peeking through. Look at that card. Ooh. Ooh. All right, what's this? Look, the way I don't know this deck, I don't even know why. Who told me to use this? Who told me? All right, Seer of Fire. That's the King of Wands. Woo, okay. Y'all have a lot of fire, too. I mean, because Leo, as we discussed, that's a fire sign. And y'all have 2 Leo cards. Just saying. 707 on the camera. Right. I'm not going to read the whole message, but I feel like this is important. Integrating humility with penetrating determination, the Seer of Fire is here to remind you that this is what you need to stay focused. The Seer of Fire holds the space for you to breathe into the fire so that you can let loose your raw brilliance. They invite you to gaze into that radiance so that you can appreciate and honor its unique beauty. This is about you appreciating yourself. The affirmation for this card says, when I acknowledge the creativity and beauty within and around me, I begin to realize my vision of a world unified and whole. I'm going to hold this up just so you can take a screenshot if you want to. Seeing 828 on the camera. Yeah, no, feel free to start channeling that out again. You know when it's okay to do it and when you may just need to mind your business. But especially in those places where you're the one hurting for suppressing your words, don't do that. That's a disservice to the people who think you know you who think they know you as well as yourself. And I say the people who think they know you because I have been in this predicament of just being a people pleaser. And the thing is, when you're operating from that sort of space and you're biting back what you really feel, you're not even giving people a chance to get to know who you are for real. You're not giving people a chance to know how you operate for real, for real. I'm saying 919 on the camera. You're not giving people an opportunity to know who you really are. You're just showing them this facade that makes them happy. And I'm saying 929 on the camera. Which brings me to a song by Chynna Rogers, which is called 929. So y'all may want to listen to that or just check her out in general. She was also a Leo, so yeah. Even if you're not Leo, you may have no Leo placements. Hi, welcome. I have no Leo placements either, but there's something about maybe tapping into Leo energy either through music or tiger's eye or like different crystals, different frequencies, and really seeing what that activates within you. Leo is, I mean, it represents the sun sign for a reason. If you go down the list of famous Leos, like, good God. And then if you expand that out into like Leo placements, yeah, they like attention. They thrive in it. It's not just that they like it. We like to give it to them. They're good there. And so there's something about tapping into that energy and just seeing what gets activated within you. But there's something about just saying it, just getting it off your chest, just showing people who you are for real, who likes it, who doesn't. That is very Leo energy, okay? You either gonna get right or get left. They know everybody isn't gonna like who they are authentically. They don't give a shit. They just are who they are. Tap into that. Because right now, I feel like a lot of people, even some of the people closest to you, don't even know who you really are because you've just been biting back your tongue. You've just been being palatable and agreeable. And that does you no good. You're the one who has to live in your body. You're the one who has to know that you're betraying yourself when you say yes, but you really feel no. You're the one who knows that, not them, whoever they are. I'm not finna preach to y'all because y'all are activating my preacher. And I don't even want to do that to you guys. I feel like that's really the message, is to just, definitely you can speak more, but especially in regards to yourself, in regards to who you really are, really start expressing that. Whether that be verbally, maybe you need to write notes. I know whenever I have something really important and deep to say and I don't know how to say it, I'm gonna write a letter. You can ask my fiance, you can ask my mama, you can ask my grandma. All of them have gotten letters. And it's not like they did anything wrong, but it's just I have these big feelings and I don't know how to say them without being a bitch, so I'm gonna put them in writing. And then feel free to write back. Or feel free to just talk back. Like, if it's usually, honestly, all three of those people I just mentioned are better at verbally communicating, and so they verbally communicate back to me what I wrote in the letter. However it works, but you got to get it out, pile 3. Ooh. And also go listen to 929 by Chynna. I'm joking. Other Leo energy that you could tap into is Whitney Houston. Girl, there is so much Leo energy. For some reason, Virgos are also coming up right now, which is like, it's not y'all's time. Just calm down. Y'all season comes after that. Chill. Interesting though. Wait, Virgo does come after Leo season, doesn't? Yeah. All right. So if you want to still be kind of close to Leo energy, but maybe not that boisterous, maybe tapping into Virgo energy would be a bit more your speed. That's Michael Jackson, Beyonce, August Alsina. Anyway, pile 3. That is all I'm seeing for you guys. I hope this message helped, resonated, or at the very least entertained you. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, pile 3. This is also, okay, so apparently maybe we need to be ending on like a collective note as well. Something about this figure in the middle with the oracle card just reminded me of Ma Kali. I've never called her that before. Normally I just call her Kali. She's coming through currently as Ma Kali. And the reason that I'm getting this is because she is notorious for like sticking out her tongue. She's actually more of a destructive goddess. I love the destructive goddesses. Don't even get me started. The warrior goddesses, the destructive goddesses. There was also something, I love that we're coming to this. When I was reading the Sacred Rebels Oracle, when it was talking about how the sun and the wind made a wager, the wind is absolutely Mama Oya. That is an Orisha who represents wind, weather, changes. That is her. And she is a warrior energy. So the fact that that energy is just like blowing and blowing and trying to force, that is Mama Oya. Very powerful. A lot of your messages throughout these piles was less about tapping into a specific energy and more about just kind of being what you need to be in that moment, instead of suppressing, instead of choosing one or the other, just kind of allowing yourself to flow and be as you are in the moment. Alrighty, you guys, that is all I have for today's readings. I hope these messages helped and resonated in some sort of way. I want to say thank you so much to the spiritual team that is for our highest good for being here and allowing me to translate these messages. I'm truly grateful. I'm also seeing 323 on the camera. I want to thank you guys for being here and for watching. I definitely look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, Soul Searchers.